Hello, everybody.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. I
Hello.
would meet everybody now so that we can have a student environment. And I want to thank us all for attending this event, the challenges of entrepreneurship in the midst of a pandemic. We have a rundown of events of today. We're going to say a short opening prayer. Then we welcome our participants. And guests. Then we'll have a brief introduction of entrepreneurship initiative. Our representative from IEEE, the secretary of IEEE Nigeria is here. He will give us a brief introduction of this initiative, and then we'll go into the webinar, then into the competition proper. So this is how we're going to roll. I want to welcome every one of us that is here, and I want to thank you especially for making our time to be with us this morning. Can I ask our daddy, Prof. Ikechebelu, to say a short word of prayer for us so that we can start?
Thank you so much. Let us pray. In Jesus' name, Father, we thank you for this opportunity to communicate with our people and this opportunity to have this competition and these teachings. As you go through this webinar and competition, we pray that you guide our steps and grant us good outing in everything that we have planned to do today. No hitches, and everything will work according to plan and purpose to the glory of your name. In Jesus' name we pray.
Amen. Thank you very much, sir. Briefly, I want to welcome all of us again. Thank you very, very much for being here. We want to thank the Region 8, IEEE Region 8 Entrepreneurship Initiative for giving us this opportunity to be here. It is their brainchild and their initiative, so we want to give kudos to them for this outing. We want to thank all the contestants. They have gone through the first phase and now they are in their finals. So we want to thank them for holding on. We also want to thank our judges. They have been working around the clock to make this happen. We'll introduce them as we go on. We want to thank our guest lecturer. He's here with us. Thank you very much. We'll introduce him also when we get to that stage. We want to thank especially also our sponsors, the Life International Hospital and Nnamdi Azikiwe University and Lambashian Suits, who had been with us in this event, sponsoring us. We want to thank the IEEE, the NAIU student body, the Nigerian section, and the consultant network, the Wissenschaft, and the work ethic. We'll introduce them all as we go on. Now, we want to take a brief talk on IEEE Entrepreneurship Initiative. And I want to invite Engineer Abdulatif Aliyu, who is the Secretary IEEE Nigerian section, and also the And also, he is also one of the founding or the founders of this initiative. Sir, if you are here, can you please take the floor? Thank you, sir. Engineer Lee, are you there? Engineer Lee, you have the floor. I've unmuted you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, please. Thank you very much.
All right, sorry. I was muted. I was trying to signify that I am muted. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for opportunity to be your midst today. My name is Engineer Latif Aliyu. I'm the Secretary to in Nigerian section and also the Membership Development Officer, a member of the IEEE Region A subcommittee and also a member of IEEE Region 8 Entrepreneurship Initiative with other roles that I play within IEEE. Quickly, because of time, first of all, I'd like to say thank you to the ambassador, that's Azubike, and also all the sponsors that have made today happen. Without them, we won't be here today. This is just one of many phases that you go through in terms of the entrepreneurship initiative. This is one of the local competition, and the winners today will be shortlisted to participate in the pool of Region 8 other entrepreneurs, of which we select. So quickly about the initiative. The initiative was formed in, started in 2018, and it was jointly funded by the IEEE Region 8 Entrepreneurship Initiative, IEEE Region 8 Young Professional, and IEEE Foundation, which are the main donors of these competitions. It started as an idea, just like all your activities started as an idea, and it has grown. The first competition actually started in 2019, which I'm going to explain. And also, our goal is actually in threefold. First of all, to strengthen the knowledge of young entrepreneurs and the ecosystem, to mentor entrepreneurs, and at the same time, set up a platform where entrepreneurs can compete in terms of their ideas. So these are the team behind it. You see my able self there. We have guys from Egypt, you have from Lebanon, you have from Europe and some other part of the world that make the initiatives. Some of you that have participated before, you'll be receiving correspondences from this team of ours. And in terms of the 2019 pitch competition, we had ambassadors, about 130 of them from different parts of the globe, about 20 countries, but the 2019 is even much more bigger because we have about 150 plus ambassadors from different parts. This is a sample of the event. At that time, we're lucky that COVID wasn't here. There were a lot of competitions from different parts like Cameroon, Morocco, Saudi Arabia, Turkey, and just like we're having now. So for this time, we permit that we have a virtual one, which is not a problem. But at the end of the day, before you go into the regional pool, whatever you do, you are going to send us 3-minute videos chosen from the best of all these people that are part of it today. And that will go through another round of screening. And after that, we will have the finalists that will compete at the regional level. That's Europe, Middle East, and Africa. So wishing all the people competing today good luck. So these are the evaluation committee. We received about 83 finalist video, of which we're able to stream down to 6. So the team that comes to the top 3 of this competition today, we actually go into another pool of different entrepreneurial and activities that happen within the region, and they will be prone down to 6 maximum. 4 will be selected by our committee, and the remaining 2 will be selected by people by voting on our social media platform. So for the final competition for 2020 that we had these final judges that actually rated these ideas created from pure entrepreneurs. And luckily for us, Nigeria was able to come out top. And it was not a coincidence because from day one, we had a very good event and we selected with passion the best among the best to go in for it. So whoever comes top, I believe the judges will do justice so that that person will still be able to beat other people when they come together to compete. So for all finalists at the regional level, not at the local level, will definitely get a minimum of 500 USD or more, and also have access to venture capitalists that will invest in such businesses. And we have an obligation to fly them to the global pitch competition in Lisbon in 2021, as we're doing. For the 2020 pitch that we're doing here, you see some of the ambassadors. You can see Dr. Azubike being there and other ambassadors from Nigeria. I just selected a few. We have over 150 of them. And as you're having the event, they are also having their own event that they'll come up with finalists that will go into the pool. So we do have something that we call the Talkspreneur on our social media page. These content are very rich. I would advise everyone to try to look for IEEE Region 8 Entrepreneurship social media page and see a lot of contents that are there about pitching, about different advice for startup and entrepreneurs. And also there are member and benefit discounts that you can get for several courses that you can take. So this is the Facebook official page, which is IEEE Region 8 Entrepreneurship. You can check that out if you have time. And this is a sample of the hackathon pitch that we had at the beginning of this year in Egypt, and also other people that are part of it. So thank you very much, and thank you for the opportunity to talk with you. I was only given about 5 to 10 minutes to talk. So thank you, that's all. So wishing all the startup and entrepreneurs on this call today best of luck as they compete. And I would like to thank the organizers and also the sponsors for making this happen today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Engineer Lee. It's a pleasure having you with us today. We are very grateful. And thank you for everything you're doing on the IEEE ecospace. At this juncture, we want to quickly go into our lecture. I call it the appetizer. Well, it's not really an appetizer.
Good morning.
It's not really an appetizer. Okay. I want to introduce our guest lecturer. He is the chairman of Always Life Group and the Life International Hospital. They do all kinds of procedure. I can't go into that. I'm not a medical person. Maybe when he comes, he will tell us a little bit about it. But he's an entrepreneur to the core. But at the same time, he's an academic. He's a professor in gynecology, gyne and obstetrician. Please forgive me if I murder the word. All right. Professor Joseph Ikechebelo. Sir, you have the floor, please. You can share your slide now. Prof, sir, you have the floor.
Yes, sir, thank you. I just want to get my screen on.
Okay, sir.
Can you see my screen now?
Yes, sir. Is here.
Okay. Thank you so much, and let me thank the IEEE for inviting me to give this presentation, and Dr. Aniedu Azubike, who is the ambassador in this region, for this invitation. I'll be speaking on challenges of entrepreneurship in the midst of a pandemic. This is making this presentation, like you say, based on the fact that, let's say that I'm also a startup entrepreneur, but I have achieved a little bit more than that. I run a facility. These are some of the offices I occupy. I'm a director of academic planning of Nnamdi Azikiwe University, the faculty chairman of West African College of Surgeons, faculty of obstetrics and gynecology. But more importantly, I'm the chairman of Always Life Group. Always Life Group actually has about 4 companies under it. You have the Life International Hospital at Oka, which is a multi-specialist, technologically advanced health facility. We also have a life specialist hospital at Nnewi, and we also have what we call the Always Life Bare Life Industries, which produces Always Life water and a few other products. So based on that experience we have acquired in business and academics as well, I'm sharing with you a few of these things so that it can help you in what you're also doing. We are looking at the pandemic, and we are looking at the measures to limit the spread of the pandemic, and we are looking at the global challenges that come on in the midst of a pandemic. Looking at that also, we'll look at the impact of this COVID-19 on entrepreneurship. And from there, we'll be in a position to talk about the COVID economy, which is what people are regarding now as the new normal. And then we'll also look at these are the few things that we intend to look at to get this on this topic. It says that every crisis in 2019, that every crisis brings challenges and threats to entrepreneurs and their organizations. No matter if the threat is initiated by human behavior, natural disasters, or economic mechanisms, they bring challenges. The threat we are looking at today is a threat brought about by health. We call it a health disaster, and that's why it's called a pandemic. And we see how this has impacted on the economy and activities we are embarked on. When you look at entrepreneurship and then pandemic, these are the 2 key words in what we are discussing today: entrepreneurship and then pandemic. According to dictionary.com, entrepreneurship refers to a person who organizes and manages any enterprise, especially a business, usually with considerable initiative and risk. So entrepreneurs usually go through some risk taking, but they bring on a lot of initiative. You employed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, your entrepreneurship continues to expand and you continue to grow. Features of COVID-19 pandemic. This is the pandemic that has brought these challenges we are talking about. And the features of this pandemic will also help us navigate or know what the entrepreneur should do to navigate the costs or the time frame that is covered by this pandemic. We are dealing with a highly infectious virus, coronavirus. Not just that it's highly infectious, spread mainly through droplets and contact with fomites. So contact brings on this transmission of this of this virus. And people have talked about entry route to your body will be via the mouth, via the nose, via the eyes. And this has determined the measures that are being taken to contain this virus. From this, and then eventually come on with what we call respiratory and multi-organ damage. From there, morbidities and death will result. So this is the pandemic that is facing the world today and that is facing everybody. And the world will not just fold its hands and say, oh, pandemic has come. Natural thing is to respond and to see how to come out of it. And the response is social and physical distancing had to be one of the COVID-19 safety protocols. And then there's a widespread lockdown. This was the beginning, when the whole issues were not clearly understood, and there was this big lockdown. This, why I'm giving this point is that this will determine how
It seems that Prof's network is unstable.
Hello? Are you saying that my network is not stable?
Yes, sir, it's coming on and off. Maybe you can remove your video so that the bandwidth will be enough for the screen sharing. Yes, sir.
Hello?
So I'm with you, sir. We are with you.
Yes. Can you hear me now very well?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. So I was looking at the measures, and we have the restrictions to gatherings because it says people have to limit the number of people who come in together. So which means that businesses that require people to come together will be definitely affected. Wearing of face masks, prohibition of handshakes. And so all these restrictions came on. So these are the measures taken to prevent the spread of the coronavirus. And this is the pandemic we find ourselves in. So we have two key issues. Either the factors caused by the virus, the method of spread, and the rest, or the measures we have taken to limit the spread of this virus. All these will combine together to affect the economy that we have. Now we look at the global and economic challenges. Because of these points that we have raised on the pandemic and the measures to contain it, we now have unprecedented downturn in the global economy, affecting all countries, nations, and relationships. Particularly, countries experience fall in their gross domestic product. A lot of exportations and other activities, even within the same country, could not take place. The number of people unemployed or number of people underemployed had to increase. A lot of people lost their jobs, particularly in developed countries where we have statistics. You know, for instance, in the US, over 20 million jobs were lost. In Europe and in Asia, in Africa, jobs were lost, but again, there is massive unemployment. School calendar had to be disrupted completely. People all universities were closed, primary schools, secondary schools, everything. So businesses also have to close, and others even gone bankrupt. And these are challenges orchestrated by this pandemic. Because of this global economic downturn, what are we looking at? Businesses, we can look at businesses and divide them into two categories. One is businesses that were negatively impacted by this COVID-19 pandemic.
These are particularly hospitality industries. We look at hospitality industries, businesses in the hotel, in the restaurants, retail businesses, aviation, day pay artisans, entertainment, sports industries, and so many others. These were adversely affected by this pandemic, at the beginning of the pandemic. And it involved non and part payment of staff emoluments. Because of the pandemic, so many of these establishments could not even pay their staff. Some of them had to put their staff on part payment because they could not make ends meet. It involved the laying off of some of the staffs. That's why we say unemployment increased. Most of the organizations had to, greater than 25% of their workforce, they had to downsize. The simple idea is if they have to remain afloat, if they have to continue to exist, they have to lay off their workers. And this became an issue. I could remember when the aviation industry in Nigeria, particularly APs, laid off some of its pilots and staff. It was a lot of talk all over Nigeria. And these are issues that came on with the impact of the COVID-19 on businesses. A good number also had to declare bankrupt, Europe and America, so that they will not face a lot of litigations and the rest of others because they could not survive. And all entrepreneurs were struggling to deal with this downturn in business. And so these are areas that are affected negatively. So COVID-19 had its negative impact. But the other group of businesses are those businesses that kind of experienced positive impact, which means there was a boost in such businesses. And these involve businesses that are in the online technology particularly. And we are looking at simply because people cannot gather together, people cannot go out freely, there were travel restrictions and everything. So it simply means that if your business is online, these restrictions will not come up with you. So these businesses had to enjoy an unprecedented boom. And this is a typical example is Zoom, even the platform we are using. Before the COVID-19, so many people may have heard about Zoom, may have used it once in a while, but today, almost every life revolves on Zoom. You do your conferences on Zoom, you do your conferences online, you do your conferences on webinars. So all different platforms of online conferencing, business is good business for them. There are such businesses that are booming in this time of COVID-19 had to experience some expansion in their services, increase in demand, and of course, they need to engage more hands and more expertise so they can meet up with you cannot move out. The only alternative you have is to log online and do the shopping you need, and if it's possible, the delivery will be at your doorstep. And so these businesses experienced a boom. So we have two categories of entrepreneurs or businesses that have been defined by COVID-19. The group that is booming and the group that is negatively impacted, that is shrinking. The question is, where do you find yourself? So online shopping, food delivery, video gaming, video conferencing industries, telehealth, telemedicine, everything that has to do with online technology, virtual technology, there is a big boost in such businesses. And it stays, in every crisis, there is an opportunity. And that's what an entrepreneur looks at, that in every crisis, there is an opportunity. And you can see that if we look back now, we can see that this crisis, this COVID-19 crisis, is an opportunity for certain group of businesses, while it's a nightmare for other group of businesses. And as an entrepreneur, what you have to look at is to look at, how do I cash in on this crisis? What opportunities are there for me? And if you play it very well, you will be on the winning side. If you faint in the days of adversity, your strength is more. This is Proverbs 24 and verse 19. So even the Bible prescribes that things like this could come, days of adversity. And we can say that in this pandemic, these are days of adversity. And if you faint, it means that your strength is more. But if you can innovate and think out of the box and do something, cash in on the opportunities and continue to grow in strength, that's what entrepreneurs are built to do at times like this. So every crisis is an opportunity. Some of the most enterprising or interesting companies have been created and they have taken off during times of crisis. Typical examples we can look at are after 2001 financial crisis, that's when Google came up, and today Google is anything you want to do, you can say Google it and you get it and everything, and they grow from strength to strength. eBay, LinkedIn, etc. These are products of adversities, and they've come on and they've continued to grow and they've continued to innovate because they came up with a strong initiative. After the 2008 financial crisis also came Uber. Today is a software, but today all over the world, Uber has gotten all over the world. You can take a taxi, you can just put on the app and you are everywhere you want to be, and you move around and the rest of other things. And this is just a software technology. It came from 2008 financial crisis. Airbnb, Instagram, WhatsApp, and today, very soon now, WhatsApp will be synonymous with communication, that people will now not be talking about text message and everything. Everybody will say WhatsApp, WhatsApp me, WhatsApp you, WhatsApp you, this. And so these are technologies that have come up, born out of crisis, but they have become a way of life. And so it means that great opportunities for great entrepreneurs abound in crisis situation. And if you are an entrepreneur, all you need to do is, in a crisis situation, look for the opportunity and key into that opportunity, and great things will come out of it. What are the strategies that we can put forward now for entrepreneurs in time of pandemic? What can they do? We recognize that entrepreneurs are fighters. And by nature, great entrepreneurs are optimistic, they are innovative, and they are resilient. Resilient is that in the face of crisis, in the face of danger, in the face of difficult situations, they must figure a way out. And that's where they bring their innovation and they bring their optimism. So the first principle or strategy I will put forward here is transforming ideas, innovative ideas. If you are in those negatively impacted businesses like hospitality business, then you could take an opportunity to innovate. So what you do is to introduce more digitalization in your business model to increase the reach with your customers. For instance, those in restaurant industries, you don't sit down in your restaurant and say, everybody will come, let's wait until they open up again. But you can innovate and think and say, oh, what I can do at this time is, we can actually move online. People can place their order. We can actually deliver to their houses and everything, or they can come drive through and pick what they want. These are other ways of delivering your services to conform with the changing times. Because as the times are changing, you must change your approach. Retail shops, online order, pickup, home deliveries, and these things can come on. And so ideas must flow and you must transform as the situation unfolds. This is one key thing that entrepreneurs deploy in situations like this. We're also looking at cutting-edge technology to meet emerging needs. In a pandemic, the needs will change. It's no longer the needs that we had previously that we are now having now because of the restrictions, because of the social and physical distancing and absence of gatherings and every other thing. The way our needs could be met will change. So you need to deploy cutting-edge technologies, either for the individual or for the society, to meet these needs. And we are looking at things like IT solutions. If I take, for instance, a hospital. Hospitals in the midst of the pandemic had to devise means you can do a telephone consultations. That's why we talk about telemedicine or telehealth. People can make their consultations. You issue them prescriptions. Pharmacies can deliver their prescriptions to them and every other thing, and they still continue to live their lives. If you remember that in this pandemic, so many people died, not from COVID-19, but they died from chronic ailments they had because they could not access their medications or their healthcare again because of restrictions with movement and the rest. But this is where IT solutions come on board. Virtual presence. There is a shift in ways of doing business orchestrated by COVID-19 restrictions. People are no longer looking at your physical location, but you can actually have a cloud location, and that's what you're looking at, the virtual presence. You still have to be somewhere, people have to see you. Part of the principle of commerce, part of the principle of business, is that if you don't say there you are, nobody will say here you are. So you must show your presence, and that's why every business started migrating online, so that people must identify that these businesses exist and still get in touch with it. And that's where your know-how or specific expertise will come in. Because of the cutting-edge technology, you have to look at those expertise that you will require to still do what you're doing or do it better. And you also look at your value propositions, your market fitness, and the rest of other things. And by the time you put your expertise and technologies together, you will be able to meet the emerging needs. And once you're meeting emerging needs, you will continue to be in business. And that's where entrepreneurs innovate and move to the next level. Then we look at divine connection. We look at divine connections. And I said, don't quit, don't run away in times of pandemic, in times of crisis. And I'll take you to the Bible in Genesis chapter 26, verses 1 to 13, verse 1 to 3. We also verse 6, verse 12 to 14. Isaac sowed in the time of famine. Isaac sowed in the time of famine. Time of pandemic is a time to look above. What do I mean by looking above? It's a time to look to God for direction. It's a time to look for God for inspiration. You meditate, you get some inspiration or more things to help you do what you can do best. And when we look at this scripture that I quoted, let's see. It says, there was a famine in the land, besides the first famine in the days of Abraham. And Isaac went to Abimelech, king of Philistines, in Gerar. Then the Lord appeared to him and said to him, do not go down to Egypt. That is, don't run away from where I have placed you. Because you may go down to another place and the pandemic will pursue you. And look at it in the present situation we find ourselves. This pandemic is global, so there's nowhere to run to again. Okay? It says, live in the land, which I shall tell you. Dwell in this land, and I will be with you and bless you. So Isaac dwelt in Gerar. So Isaac obeyed God, and he dwelt in the land God said he should dwell in. And the next thing says, then Isaac sowed in that land. Because he obeyed God, and he dwelt in that land, and he sowed in that land. You see? And reaped in the same year 100-fold, and the Lord blessed him. The man began to prosper and continued prospering until he became very prosperous. So the Philistines envied him. If you obey God and hearken to the voice of God in the midst of this pandemic, and God gives you an idea, and you decide to implement the idea, and God prospers the idea, I tell you, you will prosper, and you will prosper, and you will prosper. And those who see you will say, of a truth, something different. This is a little bit about Life International Hospital. I said a tech advanced multi-specialist health facility. The location is Oka. A lot of people will tell us, why do you have to build this level of sophisticated hospital in Oka? Why not in Lagos? Why not in Abuja? But again, we say that our location in Oka is divinely directed. And we are poised to reverse medical tourism out of the Southeast region and Nigeria as a whole. So it's not a situation like in this pandemic. Life International Hospital was set up in 2018. We didn't know a pandemic was coming. By the time this pandemic came, so many people could not travel. Those who literally would go abroad to do their medical checkups and everything, they could not find themselves abroad. So what really happened? They found themselves a standard hospital, similar to what they can meet abroad, and they still had their health care, and they still had their lives taken care of. Those who needed to have their deliveries, ordinarily, they would just enter a flight and travel abroad and have their deliveries and come back. But today, they could not do that. So they had to take solace in the existence of a standard international hospital that meets global standards. And they still had their deliveries and every other thing. So that's what we are saying, that reversing medical tourism is also part of what we can do in this pandemic, that we can grow home technologies to meet the needs on ground, and people will not need to suffer simply because of the pandemic. Another strategy of an entrepreneur at this time is a working team. Your asset is people. Once you are an entrepreneur, you cannot do it alone. You must engage in the people that will work with you. And that's what happens at a time like this. Yes, the innovation is from you, but you need people, so you must assemble it. Reimagine your new future and way pandemic. A lot of people will need to also be, a lot of things we need to change. Some other people will need to gain more competencies. You have to get the right people on the bus. Train and retrain your team on the emerging market and infuse new talents. It may mean that you may have to get new people with some other expertise that you require. Like, for instance, if all your staff prior to this period, we are not computer literate or we are not good enough in it, this time you cannot do without getting them to be computer literate or migrating into the online platform. And of course, you must develop those competencies. So invest in people and choose the right people. Once you get the right people on the bus will continue to move. If you have the wrong people, there will be discordance, there will be quarrel, there will be so many issues will be coming up, and it will hinder your progress. We're also looking at the strategy of money, access to capital. You need capital to do. Those who are engaged in startup industries or startup businesses at this time, don't wait till you have all the money. Start with what you have. And that is the principle of an entrepreneur. You must start somewhere. Start small. Start with something. Start with what you have. And once you have done that, look other places where you can get some money. And I must advise, know the type of loan you take. Don't go for high interest loans. You must go for free or low interest loans. Things that as the business is growing, you can continue to meet the terms of payment. But if you take a loan that will suffocate the business, then the business will actually suffer before even it's born. This may be an opportunity to have linkages and affiliations. And if you do the right linkages and proper affiliations, you may find yourself growing faster than you had imagined. And again, typical of entrepreneurs is that you must control your expenses. The principle of growing a business is to increase the inflow and reduce the outflow. Once you increase the inflow and reduce the outflow, the business grows. But if you continue to increase the expenses over and above the inflow, then that business cannot grow. That business cannot achieve the potential that you expect of it. So when you look at these 5 strategies and you apply these 5 strategies effectively, your innovative ideas, your divine connection, your access to people, and the capital that you require, I tell you, in this pandemic period, you will grow, and then you make a great impact. And that brings us to the new normal, which is the COVID economy. Look at it as the COVID economy. This time, it provides fertile ground for startups, particularly in spaces like telehealth, in areas like touchless payments, in areas like online business platforms, IT solutions, industries, etc. And if this provides opportunity, if you are an entrepreneur and you are engaged in startup, this is the time to look and see what you can do. There is an online shift in ways of doing things today, orchestrated by these COVID restrictions. Great entrepreneurs are not an exception. What you do at this time is to move your business, and you must have an online presence. And once you do that, you'll continue to meet with the times. And the COVID economy we are looking at today, in the coming months and the coming years, with the dematerialization, or what is people will regard as virtualization. And this will lead the way. Entrepreneurs will implement this new world. Either you call it the COVID economy or you call it the post-COVID economy, that is the direction to flow. I will look at this this study. I looked up this study. It says the pandemic is motivating 96% of new entrepreneurs in 2020. This is by Gabriel Packard, published in Small Business News, August 21, 2020. And the research found encouraging growth in the COVID economy, with the pandemic giving entrepreneurs the opportunity to start a business. If there is this opportunity to start a business, these are the things. He went further. 50% of the survey participants said they had more time to get their venture going during the health crisis. More time because you're sitting at home, you're locked at home, you're not moving out, travel restrictions and everything. And what can you do? You engage yourself. Start thinking. This is because other activities were put on hold. You cannot do any other thing. All you can do at this point in time is to think and innovate and to use your brain. And you see, these are opportunities. 40% of the respondents also said the pandemic gave them the prompts they needed to start their business. And I'm challenging you. If you're still thinking and you're still wondering, this is the time. Even if you're government employed, this is also a good time for you to think of what other things you can do besides your regular employment. And because there is every prompt at this time to get into businesses, and there are so many businesses that are available and out there. Looking at this study again, there are other things that this study came up with. The survey asked new business owners how the outbreak motivated them to start their own ventures. And look at the responses. 63% said they wanted to work for themselves. You see, they wanted to work for themselves. This is an opportunity. 58% had a desire to pursue something they were not for. And this opportunity, this COVID times and everything, may be an opportunity for you to look at it. 46% said they felt their business idea was solid. And if your business idea is solid, just like I said, if you think that you have thought it through and this is good and this can fly, this is an opportunity for you to implement it. Money also was also a key motivator. Most of the people who were asked questions said 32% of new small business owners said they wanted to make more money. And I tell you, if you think your business through at this time, and not just the employment you have, you can actually make a little more money. 30% of the participants said they started a side business to supplement income from their employment. Remember, a good number of organizations had to downsize, had to cut down salaries and the rest of other things. So if there are things you can do, I mean, don't idle away that time. Don't just sit and lock yourself up. Don't just stay and play video games. Those video games you're playing day in, day out, somebody innovated and somebody put up those video games. And so as you're playing it, yes, somebody's business is moving. So you have to also think your own time and use your own time and generate your own ideas. The crop of COVID-19 born business owners are serious. Let me tell you, anybody who is going into entrepreneurship at this time in the midst of the pandemic must be serious-minded. And are in for it for a long time. And once you get into those businesses, these are not businesses that will just stop as soon as the pandemic stops. These are businesses that you continue to innovate and think, and they grow. And then they say 37% of new business owners surveyed said they feel the pandemic created a marketing opportunity. Almost all 96% of small business owners said they intend to keep their business going, even as the economy improves. My friend, if pandemic has affected your business at this time, it is time to think outside the box, to think, to innovate, and to say to yourselves, what can I do? You cannot remain and continue to do the same thing the way you have been doing it before the pandemic. The pandemic is a changing dynamics. And if it has changed the dynamics, you have to also change the way you do things. And in changing those ways you do things, then comes with think outside the box, look for a need. And when you look for a need and find that need, seek for its solution. And when you can get that solution, run with it, don't beat. surely you will excel in this COVID economy. And that is why I'm leaving with you, that it calls in a pandemic, in a crisis situation, opportunities are bound. And if the opportunities are there, what you just need to do is to identify a need. And there are changing needs, there are emerging needs, so many things are happening. And once you do that, seek for a solution. And there are a lot of solutions out there. Somebody has to pick it up. And then you run with it and you don't quit. Surely you will excel in this COVID economy. And if you do, bless you. Anedu,
Yes. Thank you very much, Prof. We are very grateful. This is very enlightening. And I believe our participants have learned a lot from this lecture. The slides for this lecture will be made available to those of us that are registered through our emails. So we will send it to your email after we have after the meeting has ended. Then please, because of our time, we may not be able to take question and answers, but you can send in your question. Please, you can send your question with your email address. The ones that Prof can answer now, he would answer. The rest of them will now mail you the answer to your emails so that we can save time. Thank you very much. Before we go into the next, I want to invite Dr. Kennedy to say just a short word on the lecture. Dr. Kennedy, sir.
Yes.
Okay.
Hello.
Yeah, we hear you.
Hello.
We can hear you, sir.
Okay. Okay, great. Good morning, everybody. I want to thank the Dr. for such an incredible orchestration of this like a workshop. I want to thank Prof. the man that presented just a few minutes ago on the exposition within the entrepreneurship space. And I want to congratulate IEEE for creating the opportunity to enlighten our Nigerian populace on the post-COVID-19 era. As per the Prof lecture, I want to concur with the point he raised with the cloud computing market accommodating over 371.4 billion US dollars in 2020, and then moving forward to about 832.1 billion US dollars in terms of cloud GDP investments. That creates a whole lot of opportunity and investments in the cloud era. And in IEEE, we are doing our best right now to help organizations to lift and shift, migrating your enterprise processes from the local domain into the cloud space, because that is the new world order. And so, on the basis of this presentation, I'm going to implore all persons that intend to migrate their activities within the cloud and to further their activities. We are going to provide the back-end support within the IEEE consultant network and other ecosystems within the IEEE to support businesses, and then to enlighten people on how they can take advantage of some of the things Prof mentioned. I heard when you talk about virtualization, I heard when you talk about containerizations, when you talk about data integration, so many things happening within the cloud space. So IEEE will be in better position to help people to break this thing down and then achieve maximum business potential. So I want to thank Prof so much for this enlightening lecture series. I want to thank Dr. Anedu. All the things that we mentioned, they're very pertinent. I can tell you right now in my house, I see a series of contracts, business engagements. Some people calling me, look, want to migrate our business to the cloud, want to set up a network infrastructure, want to do this. I tell you, a lot of economy within that space. So the post-COVID-19 or the COVID-19 economy is actually real. For those that are not aware, I can attest that this is real. Our engagement with Cisco, IBM, and some other organizations have shown that the money within this space is so much that you can't afford to waste time sitting at home and doing nothing, whether it's academics or as a business person. So I want to reinforce again that we'll be available, moving forward to support, businesses and ecosystems to take advantage of the cloud space to make best of our entrepreneurship potentials. Thank you so much, and God bless you.
Thank you, Dr. Kennedy. Thank you, Prof, once again for that wonderful illumination into the challenges of entrepreneurs in post-COVID or in the COVID era, COVID-19 era. Now we are going to move straight into the competition, and I enjoin everybody here to sit tight and enjoy the event. We have 5 participants, and then we have our judges. Let me start with the judges now. We have Engineer Olawale Olaleye, who is the cloud IT infrastructure and security expert for Carbon. I'm not sure he's around. He told me he'll be in another meeting earlier. We have Dr. Kennedy Chinedu Okafo, who is the treasurer for IEEE Nigeria and the chair IEEE Nigerian Consultants Network. He's one of us. We have Engineer Fogo Azuka, who is the managing partner and CEO of Grow City Ventures Limited, and also chair SOC IEEE Nigeria. We have Chukura Chuka. He is the CEO of Xcorp 8 and founder of Div Amplify. Then we have also Dr. Ogugwam Exagu. He is the proprietor and CEO of Lambertian Suits, Asaba Delta States, former GM NEPA, and senior lecturer in Nnamdi University. Now, I go through the first stage of the competition. We have the Zig sales. Please, if I mention your team, the team lead or the person that is going to make the presentation should please raise their hands on Zoom so that when it's your time, I can simply unmute you. So once I mention your team, raise your hand so that it will be marked that you are present. We have the Zig sales, we have the Zidora, we have Recon, we have Team Manamaus. Is it Manamos? Manamos, yes. Then we have the Pedosoft. Pedosoft. Okay, these are our 5 teams that are here with us. And without wasting much of our time, we are going to go straight into the competition. The teams have 5 who ask them questions and score them accordingly. So can we have, if Zig Sales is here, I'm not sure I saw their hands. If they're not available, I would call on Zidora. So Zidora, if you're here, you can unmute and start. You can share your screen if you have a slide.
Sales is like they are here. 6 sales, I think they are here.
I didn't see their hands on. Who is their representative?
6 sales, I heard someone. I can see someone raising up. His hand. Chisom Onyekwelu. Chisom Onyekwelu.
Chisom. Okay.
Yeah, that's correct. That's correct.
They are raising their hand in Chisom Onyekwelu. Okay, I've seen. Okay, as Zidora, stand down. Let Zig Sales take. Chisom Onyekwelu, are you here?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, you have the floor. 5 minutes, please.
Okay. Let me share my screen.
Yes, please.
Okay. Good day, everyone. My name is Chisom Onyemelukwe, the CEO and co-founder of ZigSales.com. Now, I'll be talking about ZigSales, a trusted online shop anywhere. Okay. Now, let me first of all talk about what ZigSales is all about. ZigSales is an e-commerce platform where customers buy from a wide variety of products displayed by different merchants all over Nigeria. ZigSales is aimed at providing an online platform where customers can buy quality products at an affordable price. ZigSales is also a platform that makes it easy for merchants to set up an online store and make tremendous sales. Okay, these are the problems we are solving. Finding the right market for your business. Sometimes people want to venture into buying and selling, but they find it difficult to locate the right customer or the potential customer. Then late delivery of orders, spending time to find quality products, non-accessibility of products, inconveniences while shopping in the market. Okay, this is a typical Nigerian market whereby sometimes you might face some challenges trying to get a product from the market. Sometimes you might come back insulted or embarrassed, trying to find or being cheated on, trying to find a product of your choice. Now, this is how we solve these problems. We created an online platform where merchants all over Nigeria can easily set up their store and display a wide variety of products. Our delivery time is within 1 to 3 days, unlike other e-commerce platforms that is available in Nigeria. Opportunity to select from a wide variety of products. We brought the market closer to the customer for easy accessibility of products. And now this is statistics from statistics.com. This is digital buyers worldwide from 2014 to 2021. In this market of e-commerce, people are embracing the e-commerce industry, and as we have seen during the COVID period, some as Prof talked about, some businesses went down while some businesses went up, and e-commerce is changing the way we do business day by day. Okay, now the statistics you are seeing here is Anambra State's population as of 2006, because no other census has been held since then. And then our target customers are people that are living in Anambra within the age of 18 to 55, because these are the set of people that understand the IT world. So these are target customer. We start from Anambra State to expand to every other state. And meanwhile, our strategy is to start from the students, from campuses, because these are the youths that understand technology the more. Okay, this is how we operate. It's divided into 2 sections. Coming down to customers. When a customer goes to the website, they select from a wide variety of products. They can order for the product through the website or WhatsApp. Once they place the order, we deliver the product to them within 1 to 3 days, which depend on the customer's location. With this, we have saved the customer the stress of going to the market to get it. coming to the section of merchants, when merchant gets registered with us, they receive access to a portal where they can upload their products and brand their store. They can create a unique link to their online store. Then our business impact. We have increased sales for retailers. We bring products closer to the customers. We save time for our customers. Merchants tend to understand what their customer wants. Okay, now these are statistics. We have over 1,500 products on the website, and we have made over 220 sales this year, despite the COVID pandemic. And we have over 7,700 Facebook members in our Facebook community, because what we do is to create a community of merchants and customers to bridge the gap between them. And now this is our business model. We operate a B2B to C business model, and we make money when we help other businesses make sales through our platform. And now this is our competitors, Jumia Nigeria and Konga. And now this is our competitive advantage. Despite that there are so many e-commerce in the nation, what we do is that we notice that some e-commerce industry takes like 14 days for you to get the product you ordered. I've ordered for products several times from different e-commerce platforms, of which it took sometimes 80 days, sometimes 14 days. And this is where we come in. We deliver within 1 to 3 days, of which sometimes you might even get your order delivered within 4 hours. And then another one is easy store setup.
Chisom.
Yes.
Sorry, your 5 minutes is gone.
Okay. Thank you.
The rest of what you want to say will be drawn out by the judges.
Okay. Thank you very much.
So, judges. Okay. Thank you very much. Okay. Please, the judges, do you have any question for Zig Sales?
A quick question for him.
Okay.
A quick question for him. Hello.
Yes,
I'm
please,
here.
go on.
Okay, Zixio, brilliant presentation. I appreciate your understanding of the indigenous market, and your strategies are quite, they're quite clear. But I need to ask you 1 or 2 questions.
Okay.
We're talking about delivery in 2 days' time, or more, 2 to 3 days. I want to understand, how do you make this happen? Looking at the cost trends in terms of logistics, within our local environment. What strategy, what analytics, what logistic structure do you have to make this happen within 3 days? Looking at our geographical space, looking at our environment in general. That's a very serious concern for me. I want to understand how you make this happen.
Okay. How we make this happen is immediately someone places an order. I personally, as the CEO, receive a text message. So we start processing the order immediately. We contact the merchant that has the product, and we get it on the first day. And then probably on the second day or on the third day, we deliver the product. Meanwhile, one of our goals in 2021 is to set up a logistic brand. We have been making a lot of plans towards that, getting bikes, and we've already got some equipment that will help to make the process easy for us.
Okay, because I'm concerned because you have multiples of requests, from diverse clients from different parts of the country. That is an area I think you need to really, really work and streamline, because part of the problem, I work closely with Jumia, Konga, and all that. The request pool from over close to 70 million people making requests, and then coordinating the logistics is a very big problem for them, and that's why they stretch the duration of delivery. So if you say you're delivering in 2 days, that looks very overambitious, and one needs to really be sure of your strategies of delivery. Otherwise, you might incur some litigations which could hamper your business goals and objective. So that's actually where I have my concern. I think you need to really pay attention to that particular aspect. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
What the other judges, please, if you have a question for Zig Sales.
Well, I like the I like the fact that they spent some time to study their competition. It's very important for every business to understand the terrain in which you are operating and understand what the competition, your competition's mindset is. And so let me ask you something as it concerns the fact that you've studied your competition. Do you know the current state of Jumia as it concerns their profitability?
Okay. Yeah, from I received a news from one of my teammates. He was telling me that Jumia is yet to be profitable. I know
Exactly.
Jumia is yet to be profitable. Even the former CEO of Konga once said that just a few months ago, he said that very, very soon Konga will start becoming profitable. I know that Jumia is having a lot of challenges in their probably. I think that should be their stock market. I think so.
But do you know that do you know that do you know that the Jumia model was built I think with what's this model? They built okay, let me just tell you. They actually do not plan, they did not envisage to make profit for the first 5 years, right?
Okay.
5 to 10 years. And so that is more or less what has is like the shock absorber they are using to prevent, them from going under. So it's important also that you make an allowance also for a time before your business, before it actually becomes profitable. It's important, to get that in your head so you don't get discouraged by some of the setbacks that must usually come with business. Yeah.
Okay, thank you,
Okay,
sir.
so great one. Thank you, great one.
Hello. Wale is here, so I have a few questions for you.
Yes, sir.
Are you trying to build another Jumia or another Konga or another Udala?
Okay. We are not trying to build another Jumia or another Konga because they already exist. We are trying to fill in the gap and bring the market closer to people because I did my internship program in Lagos. When I place order on Jumia, I get it very fast. Jumia is they have this strong point in Lagos, Modo South, but then they have a weak point in the east. When I came back, I placed an order. It's like it took me like 14 days for me to get what I really required. So we are not trying to build another Jumia or another Konga. We are trying to fill in the gap and make technology because I've read about the rules you have to obey before you sell on on Jumia. I know that some of them are ridiculous, but they are necessary. I understand, and I understand all those. So we're trying to fill in the gap that we noticed that still exists in the industry.
So what would you say the gap is?
Okay. Talking about our target audience for now, I said our strategy is to start from Anambra State, most especially the campuses in Anambra State. So now, the gaps now is the quick, the late delivery, students being able to find the goods they want. For example, now in Ifite now, students find it difficult sometimes to get some products. But with the help of this platform, they might not know that their neighbor close to them have this product. But with the help of the platform, we connect these two people together.
Excuse me. Hello. Hello.
Hello?
Hello.
Yeah,
Hello.
hi.
Excuse me. Dr. Please, Prof just made a very important submission. Dr. Kennedy, one of the judges, are making an observation. I think it's better we allow the presenters to, make their presentations, and then the questions will come, so that some people will not have undue advantage based on the responses and feedback, being highlighted at the point of this questioning. So please, I will suggest, in concurrent with what Prof mentioned, let's allow all the presenters, give their presentations, and then we'll be able to now direct questions accordingly. That will be better. Thank you so much.
Okay. So in line with that, we'll move straight to the next presenter. So the judges, please pen down your questions. We'll take the round of questions after the presentations have gone.
Thank you.
Zidora, right? Please unmute yourself and share your screen if you have one. You're waiting up. Your time is running. You have 5 minutes.
Can you see me? Yes, sir. Okay. Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. My name is Abara Zion. I am representing Zedora team with my partner, Ayekwachinedu Patrick. So we formed Zedora about 5 years ago, and we incorporated this year. And basically what we do is product manufacturing of electronic and innovative gadgets. We've been doing research and development on 4 particular things. The first of which we call the Zetron. The second of which is bioenergy production using methane gas and bottling. The third of which is an autonomous machine. And the fourth of which is the self-sustaining generator. But our primary product, which we're here to display, is the Zetron, which is a portable AC power bank, which can supply AC power for multiple devices under 200 watts. I have the product with me here, and I'm going to run a quick demo. So can you see this?
Yes.
Okay. Switch off. And I'm just going to connect a lamp for the demo. And this is the box powering a lamp. Quite portable and easy to carry. So we're also making 3 models of the box. There's a 31,000 mAh version, there's a 41,000 mAh version, and there's a 52,000 mAh version. Now these vary because people have different preferences. You may want a product that may want to last more, and product lasts longer if you load it less. Like I said, the limit is 200 watts, which should support a laptop, a phone, a small TV, a decoder, and it's something people can carry about on the go. Instead of having to look for an AC outlet on a wall, you can just simply get the product and connect your devices to it on the go. Students can use it. It can be used in laboratories. It can be used by technicians as well, because you could also power a soldering iron in a workshop. Also, we've optimized cost of production so that it can be affordable to the average user. The mini version costs about 25,000 naira. So an intending user pays that 25,000 naira, possibly in installments, 3 installments, after which there's a monthly subscription of about 1,500 naira. That's how we make our own profit. Now, how do we ensure compliance? Within this box, within this device, there's a GSM module and also microcontroller units, so that people can pay that subscription, and then through our servers. Hello?
We can hear you. Continue.
And then The servers communicate with the device and tells it that this software has speed, and it is through the GSM module. So that is of the box. We don't make any investments to make our materials to production. Like I said, we plan to use a 3D print to manufacture the plastic kit. How the model looks. I'm trying to get the picture of the 3D model after 3D printing.
You have less than a minute.
Okay, can you see this, sir?
Yeah, I can see your screen.
Okay, this is the 3D model, how it's going to look after 3D printing for the plastic casing of the box. As you can see, it's quite professional and it's quite neat. So thank you for the opportunity to present this product to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We're going to call on the next team. If Recon is here, can you signify so that I can unmute you? Who is representing the Recon team? Are you here? I can't see your hand. I'll move to the next person, next team, Team Manamaus. Manamos, I don't know how to pronounce that. Are you here? Can you signify? Okay. Please take the floor.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I'm trying to share my screen now. Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can see it now.
Okay. Please permit me to turn off my video so I can have more bandwidth. My name is Adeko Ijokuye. I'm representing Manamos Electric Limited for the Code Box project. Manamos Electric Limited in Nigeria, and we've been working in the renewable energy space for the past 4 years. We began this solar code box project since the beginning of the year, around February, and around that time we assembled more or less like an all-star team. And the idea in this project is to provide a business idea that can prevent post-harvest losses in the Nigeria agricultural space. The name of the project is the Solar Code Project, and briefly, I would like to give a background to what we are doing. First of all, let us look at the problem we are facing with the agricultural sector and why it's important for us to create a nexus between the agricultural sector and the renewable energy sector. According to the research we've done, we've realized that farmers lose more than 50% of tomato harvest due to lack of cold storage. Farmers and vendors also they are forced to sell their fresh produce at ridiculous low prices because fruits and vegetables are easily lost. Fruits and vegetables easily lose about 90% of their value within 2 days. Also, realize that due to lack of storage facilities, farmers lose bargaining power in the market. So this keeps we've noticed the average price of tomato in a state like Bauchi is around 130 naira, and and the average price of tomato in Rivers State is about 500 naira per kg. So the solution we're trying to bring to the table is to build an energy efficient solar powered cold room and deploy it in rural communities. First of all, we're going to start in Enugu State. This solar-powered cold room will also double down as a first mile distribution agricultural center, and it will serve about over 2,000 people. We will operate our model as a refrigeration as a service, and also people will be able to pay according to the weight of what they are cooling over time. And the goal is to reduce harvest losses for farmers. And this facility, like I said, also serves as a first mile distribution center for agricultural produce in communities and environment. Our goals and objective is to, first of all, to stimulate farming in communities, create jobs, and also, more importantly, eliminate post-harvest losses for the farmers. Also build an efficient, like I said, efficient powered cold rooms and modular room that can be sold to farmers and storage facilities, business owners, and also build a first mile distribution center for farmers. Our business model will be generating money or revenue via 3 key business models. First of all is refrigeration as a service, where we charge per kilogram for farm produce store. Also, we sell this product to farmers and business owners. And thirdly, we help farmers market their farm produce and sell this product, and we can charge them between 5 to 20% of the goods we help them sell. What our product is different, there is no, when it comes to solar powered cold rooms, there's no operating cost. It's cheaper and more affordable than the conventional cold rooms. And also facility doubles down as a distribution center, and it allows us to make money from sales of agricultural produce. These are the specifications. Is about 7 cubic meter internal volume. Basically, it's a walk-in fridge. You can walk in, and it will be powered by a 3 kilowatts solar PV solution with about 31 kilowatt hour battery storage, which will guarantee 24-hour power supply. Financial implications. Basically, to produce this cold room storage, it took about 2.5 million naira, 360,000 naira for solar panels, over 1 million naira for batteries, and about 1.1 million for the refrigeration units and containing box and accessories. This is the team.
Okay. Thank you.
The team comprises of both electrical and mechanical engineers. It's basically an all-star team. Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much, Team Manamos. How do you pronounce that name?
Manamos Electric.
Manamos. All right. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Want to call on our last team, Pedosoft. If you are here, please can you raise your hand so I can identify you? Is Team Pedosoft here? Chukwu de Samuel. Okay.
Yes,
you
good
have
afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
All right. My name is Chukwu Samuel. I'm representing Team Pedisoft. And now I'll be doing an online demo. Because that's what Pedisoft is. So let me share my screen as soon as possible so we can begin. Okay, can you see the screen?
Yes, it's sharing now.
Okay, wonderful. Yes. All right, good afternoon, everybody. Like I said, Chukwu Samuel. Now, what's Pedisoft? Pedisoft is an online, or let's say Pedisoft is a digital secretariat. Now, when they call it the digital secretariat, it's basically, it helps major organizations and societies manage their data flow and their meeting coordination. Now, I'm sure that we know that currently the need for organization and leadership has been a very, very huge issue in our country, and the idea to bring in more flexible means of getting things done in major corporations, it's really eminent. So Pedisoft generally, it was born out of, let's say, a focus on studying NSC Nigeria, basically the Abuja branch, and we found out how their workflow runs. And we now devise a means, or let's say a web platform that manages those communication flows. Now we'll talk about communication. I'm talking about information being sent to members, meeting, scheduling, and the rest, and no one will be left out of place generally. So, okay, let me. Now, this is the dashboard. Generally, the dashboard is well made, and it basically gives every member an update on what's going on in the society. From birthdays to meetings coming up to, let's say, projects and things that are happening in that particular sphere. Now, the beautiful thing about Pedisoft is that it's an online platform. So generally, compatibility is not an issue. So once you have your Android phone or your system, you can actually use the app. That's one. Secondly, the financial. Now, finances have always been an issue when it comes to managing major corporations. Like it's very huge issue. People always complain about going to the banks and the tediousness, then financial records, keeping them. Now, Pedisoft did a fantastic job at solving that problem. We have a very beautiful, easy to use financial platform. Generally, you can pay to 3 to 4 years ahead of time, and your payment records are kept. Now, first, an e-receipt is sent to your email. Secondly, it's also held by the organizers, or the, let's say, the managers or the ESCOs of the software, of the society generally. Now, thirdly, all we did is zero paper usage. Now, we're all talking about the COVID-19 period, as in when it comes to communications and getting information on a whim, like without stress. So generally, Pedisoft also does that. Every information can be sent via PDF to everyone. Now, Pedisoft is also it's a software as a service. So generally, corporations and organizations, societies, they pay per annum to use the platform. Now, what do we do when it comes to leveraging, especially in this COVID-19 period? Now, leveraging Pedisoft with, let's say, software solutions like Microsoft Teams and Zoom will make Pedisoft a full-time online platform where decisions can be made, conversations can be done, organizations can be run, and decisions that will impact those corporations and people can be made from home or from the convenience of the homes. So people don't have to really come together, you understand me, especially with the happenings of these times. Now, and when it comes to scaling, Pedisoft, it's a web application that can scale from NSC currently, and we can have it deployed in NIEEE. We can have it deployed in MBA, that's the medical guys. We can have it, literally, it's a platform that is so flexible that it can evolve to suit every society organizational need. Like I said, it's a digital secretariat, helps manage the whole goings of corporation and societies. Lastly, I want to mention the very epic attendance system. Now, the issue in keeping attendance has always been a problem. So Pedisoft actually leverage a mobile application, which is currently on Play Store. And that mobile application basically using the concept of Kahoots. Once you come to a meeting, even an online meeting, the administrator basically posts a code. And with your mobile app, you can just enter the code and you are registered as attending the meeting. Now, the beautiful thing about that code is that it changes every 5 minutes. So at every point in time, everyone, they can have an accurate attendance keeping of when each person came for the meeting. Now, it might sound like it's not a problem, but believe me, when it comes to record keeping, every detail matters. So it keeps this body running and making major decisions for us, and let's say paving the way generally for professional bodies, both in Nigeria and worldwide. I think that's the end of my presentation. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, Pedisoft. Just on time. At this juncture, I would hand over to the judges to drill the contestants, and then we can take over from there. So the judges can take turn
great outing. I'm impressed, with these brilliant innovations coming out from our, environment. That's quite brilliant, and I commend all the teams for, doing a great job. I will just do a random sampling. I want to ask these questions, and please just take notes for all the 4 groups. I have noted few questions for every one of you. Let me start with the first person. Please, I hope you have your pen so that if I just mention the questions, you can randomly note them, and then probably we can now take it from there. So let me start with the Zik sales. The first question I have for you, which I think you try to explain it, but maybe this time around you give us a clearer picture. We need to see the novelty of this solution you are proposing, considering the existing online e-commerce platforms. Novelty. Number 2, the logistics model for the delivery, which you try to explain. I need to get clarification on that. Then service level agreements. Do you have service level agreement in place? When you deliver a solution to a customer and the person probably have issues with the delivery and all that, do you have a service level agreement in place so that you can use that to resolve such conflicts? The 4th question there is, what are the ethical issues on data privacy? Now, you're going to be playing around with people's data. Do you have any policy on ground with respect to data privacy? If you know, the global community have so much concern with data privacy, and every IT solution, particularly running within the cloud space, must have support for that. So these are the 4 questions for Zikite, Zik sales. The Zion, the man that presented something on Zion, the I think the power solution. Yeah, what do you call it?
Zedora, that's their team.
Zedora. So how do you handle faults and failure for such solution? Most of these custom-made solutions, when they are fault, the next thing we do is to abandon them, or we'll just go and give it to a quack who will just do 1 or 2, and that will be the end of the product. We have so many products that, that don't have a clear specification on how faults and failure modes can be addressed. In your solution, do you have, ways of resolving fault and failure modes, particularly for your end users? When they have this product and their faults and all that, how do they handle that? Secondly, the local persons, maybe I have a mother in the village, how flexible can they really understand the technicalities involved in using these products to power their homes or power their lamps where they are selling akra balls and all that? How easy for local populace, how easy can they use these particular products in terms of flexibility and ease of usage? That's for you, the gentleman there. Then the solar guy, I don't know whether you are looking at the entire agricultural value chain from the farmers down to the end sellers. Now, I hear when you're talking about the cold room. This your solution, what is the generating capacity? Have you considered the typical workload that you want to preserve? So what maximum capacity can this your solution generate? And is this scalable? That's the question I have for you. Then pedal soft, how does this solution differ from existing ERPs? There are existing ERPs in the market that handles secretariat workflow, just like what you mentioned. There are so many of them in the market there. What I mean ERPs, I'm talking about enterprise resource planning suites. How does this your solution handle differ from existing ERPs for similar workflows? And then ethical issues on data privacy. Now you're talking about data on financial and all that. Do you have policies in place in terms of data privacy and protection of people's detail. Since I don't know whether you're the cloud provider or whether you're going to be subscribing to a third-party cloud to handle most of the data that pumps into your application. Thank you very much.
Okay, before the other judges come on board, I simply want, some people are making requests, those of them from the audience, for some of your products. Those of you that are contesting, this is also a means of selling you and your products. So please drop the name of your product or the name of your team and your email address, maybe contact phone number on the chat, so that anybody that wishes to contact you directly can do that. All right. Can we have the next judge, please? Okay, let me call Prof. Do you have anything to say to the contestants?
Hello, is it me you're asking?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. That's a very good one. Let me thank the contestants. I think quite innovative and quite interesting that they have presented all these. I have something for the Zig sales particularly. Yeah, because I wanted to know what agreement to Zig sales they have with the merchants. If Zig sales can hear me, because the goods are not your own, they are from the merchants. What form of contract agreement do you go in with merchants? How are the payments made? And who controls the payment? And how are you, the Zig sales, how do you intend to get your own profitability? Because you have rightly said that Jumia has not been so profitable and they're still buying some time to be profitable. So what makes you think that your own brand will be profitable and not go the same way like Jumia, and therefore have a challenge of sustainability? That's for the Zig sales. If you can put it down and try and answer this, because that will tell us whether this is a sustainable venture or whether it will be an e-commerce that will fizzle out not in a distant future. Then for the last presenter, who has the e-secretariat and every other thing, your explanations are not very, maybe I didn't catch it very well exactly, how the team intend to and it's a web-based platform. It makes it imperative that organization must have internet presence in the organization 24/7. So you are now making it that organization must subscribe to internet, fast internet and everything that will reach every member of the outfit, so that they will continue to use that or deploy that or work with that? Or is the technology going to be restricted to just their phone and not work on their PCs and desktops and every other thing? So internet challenges affect the use of this software. You also mentioned that it can handle issues of payments and everything. This software, does it interface with the bank, or is it just internal payment activities that it's meant to address. So thank you.
All right, thank you, sir. Engineer Zoka, are you online?
All right, yeah, I'm online. Yeah, great. Okay. See, I'm really impressed with everyone. The four presenters, those who have presented their services to us. I'm really impressed with it. But one thing I must let all of you know is this: if the web interface for your service is not mobile friendly, do something about it. Your web interface, your portal must be biased towards mobile devices, because your target audience most often, who are students, will most likely use their Android phones or whatever, their handheld devices to access your offerings. And so if it's not mobile friendly, if it's not biased towards the mobile device, then you may just lose out on some of your clients, because they may not find it very user friendly. And then I think I've been listening, and I've actually noted that you guys did a market survey. Most of you did a market survey, and you understand for me, I'm very particular about competition, and then knowing what your competition has done, knowing where they failed, knowing why they failed, and then making sure you don't reinvent the wheel, as they say. Sometimes you just leverage on what they've done, and then you can improve on it. That's what I think we all should do. So if we haven't done that, I think we should do that. But I'll tell you, kudos to you guys. You've done great. Great job. Thanks.
Okay, thank you very much, Engineer Zuka. Engineer Laleye, are you online?
Yes, I am.
Please have the floor.
Okay. To all the presenters, I would say you guys did well, and particularly for me, I'm impressed with what you all brought to the table. Even though, yeah, there's room for improvement, but I think I will limit my feedback to the level with which everyone is, so that don't make you feel a bit downcast. So, but let me start with Zig sales. From my experience doing e-commerce and retail, that was why I asked whether you're trying to build the next Jumia or another Jumia replica. So it's okay if you use Jumia Konga as your reference point when you're doing your research. But if you are to be truthful to yourself, if you say, okay, my market environment is just Anambra State or a particular state or capital, it's okay if you start from there. Then you never know where you take it to. But having that at the back of my own mind, I'm now looking at you guys as saying, this is what you're planning on capturing, just this vicinity. So, but now here comes the question. How do you intend to get the merchant to onboard? Because when a merchant connects to an actual buyer the first time, they may not want to come back to your platform. How do you want to go around that by keeping them on your platform, ensuring that all transactions are via your e-commerce platform? That's the first question, because if you can't do that, if you've not thought about that, you cannot really last. And most of this is what I've noticed with smaller e-commerce chain, people that don't want to be Jumia, but they want to just focus on their own environment. And because buyer and merchants take their transaction outside the platform, they find it impossible to cope with future subsequent transactions. That's that. The second question is, what was your plan like for the e-commerce infrastructure itself? What was the capacity on ground? Like, how many merchants do you think you can hold? If each merchant have their own store, how many do you think you can hold? So that's the question for Zig Sales. Zedora, yeah, I'm particularly very, very impressed with what you've presented. It's not so complex. So that's why I like it. And when you're starting with simplicity, you tend to have a bright future. So that's why I will easily go with what you presented. But here's the challenge: you didn't talk so much about your sales and marketing. I don't even think you talked about it. Do you expect the product to sell itself? If no, what was your plan like? How do you want to sell, and how do you intend to market? Then in terms of scaling, if you get surge in demand, how do you intend to respond? What's the strategy on ground for that? For Timanamos, okay, my own concern for you too as well is scalability. If you're targeting a particular portion of agricultural market, and you get from the look of it, it is very, very capital intensive to even build one cold room from what you presented to us. So considering, how do you intend to even scale beyond the support you can get from IEEE? How do you want to, what's the goal like for you from now to in the next 3 years? And how do you intend to respond if your product actually gain entrance into the agricultural market? That's the question for you. And then PedalSoft is quite, let me commend what you've done so far. For the level with which you guys have done well. And for what you've presented, I don't want to be too critical. So that's why I will first of all ask you, what is the stage of that demo you presented to us? I don't know, but what I am expecting you to say is alpha, something like, oh, we are currently at alpha. That means the first ever initiative, or maybe that's the product you want to take to market. So what stage are you guys currently? And you also made me realize that you're a team. So what's the technical depth of that your team? Because the reason why I'm asking, when Facebook started, right? When Facebook started, the technical depth as at the starting point was very, very solid. Even though it was leveraging on colleagues and friends, it was solid. So the technical depth guarantees the future. So that you don't start what you can't sustain, which is a lot of the problem that we have in software landscape in Nigeria or even in Africa. We start and we can't sustain it because of technical depth. So walk me through what your team looks like, what the skill each person have, and what they are contributing. That's my question for all of you. So take time to respond.
Okay, thank you very much, Engineer Lale. I'll call on Chuka. If you're online, please.
Hello?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so like everyone has actually said, quite a very good presentation that everyone has made. I mean, all the people that have presented. Now, but I really need to talk about something that I am not sure if most of the presenters have looked into. We want to assume that we are dealing with early stage startups here, I mean, they are supposed to be early stage startups. And okay, what I'm about to say is more like more like a contribution, and along the line, I will also throw in my questions, which they will have to answer. So I will suggest every one of the presenters to look at something that we'll call lean canvas. You know, it's a template for early stage startups. You know, it's really going to help them to, you know, structure exactly, you know, what their startup is all about, and exactly the way they are supposed to move, you know, from where they are. So saying that, I want to ask especially the Zidora guy, you know, a couple of questions. So my question, the first question I will have to ask him is this: how is he planning to deal with, you know, the low trust issues we have here in Nigeria? Because Nigeria is actually a low trust society. We don't trust that easily. That's one. Then secondly, you know, running e-commerce from what he has presented means he has to he's dealing with B2B and B2C. So he's going to try to sell to business owners, then at the same time, he's going to try to sell to consumers as well, the same product, which over the years has actually proven to be a difficult thing to, you know, achieve. So I would like to know, you know, how he plans to, you know, or what his plan is when he plans to reach the businesses, and at the same time, with the little experience that I have. Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, so with the little experience I have, that can be quite capital intensive. So I would really like to know, you know, what he, you know, how he plans doing that. Then that's for Zidora. Then another thing I need to ask every one of the presenters is what's their legal framework like for those that have incorporated, for those that have not incorporated as well. What's their legal framework like? Most especially the guys that are doing hardware. You know, what have they allotted shares? Have they, the ones that have co-founders, you know, what are the you know, what are the shares allotment like? Are they going to be open to investments, even if it's angel investment? And what percentage are they looking at giving angel investors? Because it's not just about presenting these things. Someone may get to see some of these products and will decide to, you know, get on board. And they should also understand that the only way, one of the best ways to scale is to, to have these frameworks, you know, already set out. And so that when they get to see someone that would really want to invest in what they are doing, it will be a cakewalk after due diligence. Now, running startup early stage is not easy, and that's the truth. A whole lot of startups don't even get to escape the valley of death where they die. If let's say maybe quite a few percentage get to escape that valley of death, and the valley of death is that stage, that point from where you have your MVP and you're trying to get product market fits, and in between your MVP and going to the market, trying to iterate whether customers are going to like what you've done and get feedback from customers to try to improve. to the point where you get product market fit, where you get to say, okay, at this point, customers like what we are doing. Between that MVP and product market fit, a whole lot of startups tend to die. So, and that's the most difficult stage. So I will really, just like I said before, advise every one of them to look into the lean canvas. That's one. Then to also get to, read a lot about startup legal. It's very, 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 very important. Then I have the last question I have is for the, sorry, my first question about B2B and B2C was supposed to be for Zik sales. Sorry, it was supposed to be for Zik sales. Then for Zidora, that's the guy that did the hardware thing. The last person that spoke asked a very, very, very important question. Let's assume this thing scales. What's his plan? I mean, what's he going to? How is he going to meet the market demand? Let's say he starts scaling. Then another thing also is I saw his 3D design, and I don't know how he plans, making that design. I don't know if he plans making here in Nigeria or if he plans making it somewhere in China. I would really like to ask him, because he said he mentioned the prices of the units. So I really want to know if the prices of the units is, if he actually puts into consideration the cost of producing the 3D design, or is the prices he quoted now, are they the prices for the local design that he has now? I mean, local in quotes, design that he has now. So that's basically it.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. This is how we're going to do it. Each of the teams is going to have 5 minutes to respond to all the questions. And please try to make it snappy, straight to the point, and try to respond to all the judges within the 5 minutes. Once it's 5 minutes, I will stop you. So don't beat around the bush. So I'll call Zik Sales or Chisomonya Melokwe to take the floor. Your time has started counting.
Okay. I want to appreciate you all for the questions. Now, I want to start with the first one that says the novelty of the company. Okay, our quality service speaks for us. There was not enough time to show you the pictures we take during delivery. So this will help others to believe in us, and also word of mouth. We have had several people that patronize us because their friends recommended us to them. I mean, yeah. So then talking about logistics, we partner with other logistics company. I didn't mention that. Something like Errand Boy. People in Okan know about Errand Boy. We partner with them. And then, as I said earlier, about the logistics, we planned on one of our 2021 goal is to set up our own logistics brand. And then if there are other places that our hands can reach, we'll partner with the sort of a third-party logistics company that is there. Then talking about several legal agreements. Okay, when someone orders something on our website, he has 7 days to return if the product is not what he ordered, or if it is fake. He has 7 days to return the order. Then talking about ethical issues with data privacy, we already have our privacy policy is on the website, and we already have our terms and conditions on the website. Before anyone signs up with us, you have to agree to those terms and conditions. Okay, talking about what agreement do we have with merchants to pick products? Okay, the agreement we have with merchants is that we told them about the platform. We've met a lot of merchants. We told them about the platform. They were open-minded. They allowed us to take stock of their products, of which sometimes they themselves can do it. Then when someone places an order for their product, we meet them personally, pay them, and then collect the product. And they also have in mind that sometimes some of their product might be faulty, of which when the customer returns it, we will return it back to them. And then you asked, how are the agreements made? Okay, when someone wants to sign up, when a merchant wants to sign up through the platform, there is a note, already written down note there. The person needs to read and agree to that note before he signs up. And then we sometimes, if it is people we know personally, we do communicate these things to them. And then you said, how do we control payments? Okay, we control the payment through Paystack Payment Gateway. We've integrated Paystack Payment Gateway to the platform. So once an order is being placed, it gets into our our Paystack Payment Gateway. That is where we can then disburse the payment. And then I'm the one handling the payment. Okay, our own profitability. Yeah. In as much as Jumia is not yet profitable now, how we make our money is we make our money from each sales that has been made through the platform. The sellers know that from each sales they make, we make our own percentage from there. Okay. Then how do we intend to get merchants on board? Okay. No, sorry. The question says, if for example now someone buys something from our website, he might not go through the website again to meet the merchant. Yes. We don't display any merchant information on the website. We don't display that. If any customer wants to return back to us, he will still go through us to get to the merchant. So merchants' information are not displayed on the website. So how many merchants can we hold? There is no limit. The question that says how many merchants can we hold? There is no limit to how many merchants we can hold. For now, it's possible that two clients can be selling the same product. It is all left for the customer to choose the product he or she wants to go with. Okay. Then one of the judges talked about trust issues. The judge is very correct. We are facing a whole lot of trust issues now, most especially people that live in Lagos. We receive tons and tons of orders from Lagos, but because of Nigeria, we have low trust in this country. So they will demand for our physical location in Lagos, and I will always tell them that we've not yet expanded there, that they should look for any nearest market to get their products, which is part of our plan, is to get an office in Lagos so that those people can see us and pick up the product. And then this trust issue can be breached through massive advertisement, because I strongly believe that when someone sees an ad more than once or 2 times, he tends to believe in the brand. And then how do we tend to reach to businesses? Okay, we tend to reach to businesses and customers through massive advertisements. Even up to today, Google still does advertisements, Facebook still does advertisements. So I strongly believe that we reach to other businesses and customers through this.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Zidora, if you're online, please take the floor. Straight to the point. You have 5 minutes.
Thank you very much. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, the first question was, how do you handle faults and failure? Well, like I said earlier, we've been doing product development and research on this product for about 5 years now. So we've done durability tests, we've done efficiency tests. I can tell you confidently that nothing can go wrong with this product unless you overload it. The product threshold, the power threshold is 200 watts at most. So if you go ahead and plug a pressing iron, which is about over 1,000 watts, for example, you blow the device up, and the buyer has to bear the liability. Probably the person will pay for the shipments to our location, which we plan to work with affiliates such as MTN, that's practically everywhere if they accept. So the user basically takes the products that he damaged to that office.
Sorry. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, just a quick interjection. The modern digital electronics is structured in such a way that the point you mentioned last is not good. Don't mention it at all. It's not a good one. There are people that might not have understanding of overloading. when you overload a system, you should have internal security that will be able to shut down, the system from connecting so that it doesn't blow up the system. If you say that if you blow it up, it means you have a lot of people that don't know the rated capacity, what you're talking about. So please don't mention that. It's not a good point to mention that, it has a rated capacity blow. Your system should have internal feedback for controlling excessive load. That is a very serious observation. Thank you.
Yeah, there is in the inverter line, there's actually a safety system in there, but actually it's like a fuse, basically, for now. So, and also we have to print up a manual where people have to actually read their manuals. Even normal products like from Samsung, you have to read the manual before using, especially a product like this. If I go to the second question, local persons using the products, how easy is it for them to use? Well, in the buying options, there's also a buying outright option, because how it works is a user pays for production, and then how we make our profit is from monthly installments of about 1,500 naira for 12 months through our application time. So if it's complex to do, a user can either opt for outright buying. You can just pay the entire thing one time and have no problems dealing with monthly payments or what have you, or whatnot. Also, for an elderly woman in the village, as one of the judges mentioned, probably a son of hers could be making those payments. Why she just uses? And I don't think she will go plug and iron or something. No, it's quite small for that. Thirdly, sales and marketing plans. Okay, as the first contestant said, publicity, advertisement is very, very, very important. We're going to do a lot of massive publicity and purchase of our products. This is to curb problems. Purchase of our product is strictly through our website, and the product will be shipped directly to the buyer's location through logistics companies. This is how we structured our marketing plan. And scaling up strategy. Increase demand in our product will entail we increase our workforce for manufacturing, which means we need to get more manufacturing equipment like the 3D printers I mentioned, or a mold, a plastic mold, which entails more investments. Okay, and then cost of production. Users, like I said, users pay an initial fee of 25,000, which is the basic cost of production of on the product with the 3D printers. Yes, are factored in the plastic material, PLA or ABS. It's all factored in the cost of production, and then we make our profit through those monthly installments. Then legal framework. Yes, we incorporated our company this year because it's not just this product we are trying to develop. We're trying to work on other things, but this is our star product. This is what we want to start with. And yes, we are open to investments, and we are looking at giving up between 10 to 20% of ownership for investments to scale up. And yes, we have co-founders. I have a partner who is online as well. And then type of production. How do you produce? Like I said, we intend to use 3D printers to produce the plastic housing for the product, which is quite durable to do, because if you use metal, it may make it heavier. And profitability, like I said earlier, our profits don't come from immediate sales. Our profits come from the monthly installments, 1,500 naira paid for 12 months. That's where our profit comes from. And how do we ensure this is done? The product deactivates if a user has not completed his payment, monthly payment, and will activate through our servers, because there's a GSM module inside together with microcontroller units that receive signals from our servers, which we will set up. If a user has paid, it activates. If a user hasn't paid and his monthly limit is expired, the device deactivates. So when you complete your 12-month plan, it activates totally and permanently for the user. Thank you very much.
Okay. The next team Mamosa. I keep getting their name wrong. Are you around? Hello? Okay. You can unmute now.
All right, Dr. Kennedy. What is the generating capacity? The generating capacity is about 3 kilowatt or so. solar PV. This will include about 8 solar panels, 380 watts each, with 25 years performance warranty. This will directly power the cold box and also simultaneously charge the batteries to ensure autonomy of operation. It also asks about the maximum capacity. The cold box can get as much as 500 kg of fruits per day. It can take up to 500 kg per day. Also, the target audience, initially we are targeting mostly fruits and vegetable farmers. Then from there, when we start making enough profits, we can scale up from there. So our main targets now, we're not targeting the entire value chain. We are targeting fruits and vegetable farmers currently. And also in terms of scalability, I think this will also answer Engineer Olalaye's question. Like I said earlier, we'll be operating 3 business model, first one as a service, which will charge customers per kilogram. Our cold box can take about 500 kg, and we plan on charging each customer about 150 naira per kg. So in a day, you'll be generating about 5,000 naira. So the money we use in the profits we make from running these cold rooms, we'll use it and replicate in other parts of the country. Also, our second business model, we will also produce and sell these products directly to farmers and business owners. And also, let me note that we'll be producing these products locally in Enugu. We have already purchased landed properties where we're going to build up our factories, our factory. Sorry, about 6 plots of land in Enugu. This product will be produced locally, and this will also help to reduce the cost of production. I think this about what Mr. Kauchuka asked about the legal framework. Manamos Electric is already an operating company. We're operating for 4 years now legally, but the code box project will be set up. It will be set up as a SPE and special purpose entity. So it's going to be like a business on its own from Manamos Electric. So this will enable us to open up to about shares with Manamos Electric. It's going to be set up as an SPE. And about the prices I put there in the slide is what will be used to locally manufacture these code boxes in Nigeria. We are not going to be ordering from China. We already have a team of engineers working on this. We've been working on this for the past 8 months. From University of Nigeria, from the mechanical engineers here now, and also from Manamos Electric, electrical engineers here. So it will be manufactured locally in Nigeria. So those prices there is what you use to produce one code box locally in Nigeria. That's all the question. I've not missed any. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Team Pedosoft, if you are here, please unmute yourself and take the floor.
Okay, good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Yes, you can.
Okay, thank you very much. I am really grateful. Okay, let me first take the first question. The comparison to Pedosoft with other ERPs. I should have managed this. We found out that borrowed solutions don't work. That should have matter. They end up complicating issues. Now, yes, they are very wonderful ERP, but the leverage Pedosoft have is the study of the workflow. Now, if you watch well, these current ERPs that are currently available, most corporations are still having difficulty configuring them to suit themselves, which is causing more issues. But when you have one independently designed for you, it works seamlessly with zero complications. Everything works perfectly. So that's one of the major, the major edge that Pedosoft has. So I won't view them as a competition. Rather, I'll view them as them being around. You understand me? But not really affecting us because they are there, but still the problems have been existing. If you walk into any corporation and ask them, most of them, especially societies, most of them have issues integrating these services because truly it's confusing. It doesn't have that corporate workflow to study what they do there, but we do. Now, Pedosoft is a company that runs basically software solutions. from different areas. Now, the second question, you talked about privacy. Truly, our privacy, our data information is going to manage on a third-party server, and these days there are a whole lot of them, and they are reliable and they work. That's the truth of the matter. And a question was also asked about the stage we are. We are actually in the testing stage. Like I said, NSC Abuja was used as a testing platform for us to see the loopholes and the issues. Now, one of the issues we had before the whole COVID-19 came up was that there was a huge complaint about attendance. That's why we had to work on that attendance to the point that we had to develop an independent mobile application to make sure that it's a seamless pattern, just like I explained. So truly, people are actually digitally recorded, having been in each meetings, and because it was really a very huge issue for them. Now, also, you talk about the technical depth of our team. Now, truly, it's something we came into consideration because, as in Nigeria, we have an issue in starting things that we don't finish, as you rightly say, sir. But we actually have studied that. Now, we have a four-man team. Chinon Swani is our team lead. We have Henry as our mobile dev lead. Then myself in marketing and graphics. Then we have Jose as our legal advisor. Now, legal advisor, because like you said, privacy issues are actually a top priority for us. So we work together to make sure that all those things are arranged, especially when it comes to do with finances. That's why we have a two-way recognition. Once you pay, an e-receipt is generated and sent to your email, and you actually have that stored. It's just like having your information for payment stored in the Google Cloud generally. So whenever you are demanded of it, which will hardly happen because the platform itself also holds a record for you, and you actually can present your payment plan. So we talk about it, yes, Pedestal is actually a corporate body, and we got registered. That was 2019. Like I said, this were also this also the depth of our current team, what the way we work. These are the expertise and what we do. I think that is the rundown of the questions I was able to take. Thank you very much, sir.
All right, thank you very much, all the teams. You've done a very, very good job. You presented yourself well. Want to also thank the judges for their questions. Please, all the teams, I'll request you to send me your slides. If you have them, send it to my email or to the email that contacted you. And then also drop your phone numbers and contacts on this chat, because some audience persons are asking for it. Maybe they want to make order. I'm grateful for these sponsors and partners: IEEE Region 8 Entrepreneurship, Always Life, and Life International Hospital, Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Oka, Lambasian Suits, IEEE NAU Student Body, IEEE Nigeria Section, IEEE Nigeria Consultants Network, the Wissenschaft Integrated Limited, Work Etiquette. I'm also grateful to my team members: Chinecherem, Bosa, Goodness, Uche, Chidema, Ekene, and Goodness. We are grateful for you that are here. We thank you for making our time to be in this event. At this juncture, I want to end, except any of the judges have anything to say more. By the way, we will compile the results.
Can I say?
1 minute, sir.
Okay.
We'll compile the results, and the winners will be displayed on our Facebook page and our website, and then forwarded to the Region 8 IEEE Entrepreneurship Initiative. You will then be contacted for the next phase of your competition. Meanwhile, thanks to our sponsors, we will have a little token for you. I won't mention it here because it's just a token so that you use it to recharge your data and then maybe settle one or two people that had been running around for this event. So maybe the first 1, 2, 3 contestants may get a little something for their time. I'm grateful to everybody. Chuka, please.
Yeah. Okay, so it's more like a question to the PedoSoft guy, right? So you when you were answering the question, you talked about process flow, how the ERPs now are the existing ERPs that the people, I don't know who are the people that you're referring to that are finding it very difficult to configure ERPs and use ERPs. I don't know who you are referring to. Then also a follow-up question is, so what's your target market? I mean, because if you're talking about process flow, you're talking about process flow and how the process flow is not in or the process flow, the people you were referring to, you know, find it very difficult to use the ERPs because they also find it very difficult to, you know, set their process flows on the present ERPs. So my question is, if those ERPs that are already existing were also built having some sort of process flow in mind, when you're done building your own, are there not going to be other set of persons that are going to find it very difficult also aligning their own process flow with your own process flow? So that's you know, that's exactly, you know, what my worry is. Rather, I think you should be looking at building a distributed system, building a system that is highly decoupled, where, you know, processes can be coupled into, right? Because if you don't basically do it like that, you will still, someone will wake up tomorrow and build something, and the person's excuse is going to be that the one you built, you know, is difficult for some other persons to align their process flows to it. So that's my concern with the question that you answered. Then finally, in conclusion, there is also something I would like every contestant to also look into. There is a framework called POEM framework, POEM. You know, POEM framework. The POEM there actually stands for proposition, organization, economics, and milestone. It was developed by a Nigerian, actually, but he's the one that heads the African Angel Business Network. So it's a framework that every startup, every early stage startup should look into, as well as the one I mentioned before, which is the lean model canvas that I mentioned before. So every one of the participants should also look into the POEM framework, because I've been in this startup game for quite some time now, and it's not about building products. That's just one step. If you really want to scale, there is more to building these products. There are a whole lot of people that have built products, whether hardwares or softwares, very nice, wonderful products, but some of them, the softwares have actually, in fact, their laptops and local hosts have actually turned graveyards to, you know, some of their wonderful innovations, because startup is not just, early stage startup is not just that I have a product. There are a whole lot of things that you have to, you know, look into. So that's by and large, everyone did well. Nice presentations. I just hope that, you know, we're going to see something good come out from this. I just hope that at least a few of us are going to achieve scale. Thank you once more. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chuka.
Yeah.
As a final note, I want to give the floor to the Consultants Network Affinity Group. You just chip in a few words to us.
Okay. Hello, am I on? Can you hear me?
Yes, you are. Yes, sir.
Okay. On behalf of IEEE Consultant Network Nigerian section, from the depth of my heart, I sincerely, very sincerely appreciate you, Dr. Azubike, for this novel initiative and taking it on to coordinate these young, brilliant Nigerians to come up with a product on the table. It's really amazing that we have talent, but we need to continuously encourage these young people, even those of them that didn't make, let's say, the first three. Please, we must continue to encourage them and ensure that they continue to innovate and then build their life on these ideas God have given to every one of them. So it's a brilliant, presentation, brilliant contributions, but they need a whole lot of mentorship from some of the expert groups, particularly the judges here. I wish that you connect some of these young chaps to us so that from time to time we can engage them. Some of us have side projects and side things we are doing. We can actually get them on board so that they can still build their capacity and skills. Of recent, we built a robot that we gave to University of Calabar. And we needed some of these groups, to be part of what we're doing so that, they can gain more experience and then capture more market, and then continue to develop and then innovate. I want to thank every one of them. Please, I look forward to connecting with all these young chaps, and then we continue to support them and encourage them, particularly within the IEEE space. And I want them to know that in IEEE we have a whole lot of programs that will benefit many of them that are into this innovation space. The Consultant Network, IEEE sites, EPICS, and some other ecosystems within the IEEE have a whole lot of platform through which they can scale. So I want them to come closer, not just after this pitch competition, but I want them to come closer so that we can expose many of them to myriads of things we have. In Egypt, in Tunisia, in Morocco, and some other African, North African countries, they have gone very far with some of the platforms within the IEEE ecosystem. And so we want to use this opportunity to let them know that Nigeria have grown, and we want to bring them on board so that they can compete with their counterparts in North Africa and then, Region 8 as a whole. I want to thank Chuks, the gentleman, one of the judges. Some of the points he made, they were apt. Some of the framework and concepts he mentioned, they are fantastic, and they are part of the current innovation ecosystem. I thank you so much for that. I thank Engineer Zoka, my very good colleague, the ComSoc chair. Thank you so much for what you're doing in ComSoc. I want us to use our ecosystems, the IEEE chapters and the affinity groups, to groom all these people within this space today. Let them come on board and benefit from what we are doing in IEEE. And I'm sure the future is very bright for Nigeria and Africa. Thank you so much.
Amen. As a way of adding to what to all the groups, all the teams, for you to advance to the next level, that is the Region 8 or Nigerian section competition, you will have to register as an IEEE member. At least your team lead will have to be registered as an IEEE member. So I will connect you to Doc and the other judges for mentorship, and also to see how you can take this to the next level. Thank you very much. I want to call on Engineer Lale to say the closing prayer for us so that we can dismiss.
Okay, quick one. Let's just wherever you are, maybe you want to close your eyes. Heavenly Father in heaven, we thank you for this opportunity to meet. Even as we were present in our various places, we thank you because you are the one that made it possible. We thank you for the wisdom, knowledge, understanding that you've given unto us. We thank you for the capacity and ability to dream and also innovate. You are the maker of life, you are the giver of wisdom. So we pray that this wisdom that you've given unto us, these dreams that you've given unto each and every one of us, and including the participants and the people that are presented today, that this dream will not die. You help us, give us the grace, the ability to refine the dream and to actualize the dream in Jesus' name. As we go
Amen.
to our various places, go with us. Bless the rest of our day, for in Jesus' mighty name we've prayed.
Amen. Thank you very much, everybody, for this outing. God bless you all.
Thank you.
Participants, please don't forget to send me slides of your presentation. Thanks.